Hello, hello. We have a new chapter of Dr. Stone. In the last one, a few small conclusions and revelations were had. First off, Chrome thinking about a solution to the petrification problem, a way of kind of a timed release drip that would depetrify you in case you got petrified. This made them think about, okay, isn't it kind of crazy that everyone actually did get petrified during the mass petrification event before? There must have been multiple petrification weapons. And then they kind of thought about how Matsukaze, that is his name, correct? Who lived in the middle period between present day and the modern era, had seen petrification devices just raining down from the heaven. And they were like, damn, there's going to be a lot of them. And I really, really like how they did that looking back at it. That they kind of made two small suggestions that the mass petrification event required many weapons, and then they totally made you completely reevaluate how many is. That you were thinking, whoa, there's probably going to be like 100 here. And instead, an entire ancient Aztec pyramid is covered thick with petrification weapons. Thousands of years ago, that light enveloped the earth, a malicious force dead set on petrifying all of humanity, and seeing the sheer scale of that malice here is sickening. Yeah, whatever we might have tried, there was never any escaping from that threat, that fate. And here is Ace. What? Here's Ace from One Piece. We know that Boichi is a big One Piece fan. He covered the legendary Mihawk versus Zoro chapter before, which was so cool. And it really made me wish there was more such covers between different mangaka, but whatever. Here, it seems like our dear Senku has developed some sort of magic time portal and kept Ace alive during one of the most tragic, beautiful, painful, intense One Piece scenes ever. Of course, where Akainu kills Ace. Spoilers! That happened like 10 years ago, and come on. But surely everyone who has any sort of interest in One Piece knows about that by now. Anyways, this is kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, that moment was just so emotionally important to the whole series, so motivating for so many characters, so relevant to the continued history and lore, that I don't... As much as I love Ace as a character, as much as I was sad when he died, I don't know if I really want that to just be, like, undone. That is really strange. I guess this is maybe a commemorative thing for One Piece hitting 1,000 chapters. Maybe in various issues going forward, whatever series gets a color spread is going to do a little One Piece twist. That'd be kind of fun. Anyways, that's crazy. That was so surreal. I'm like, wow, this character looks like Ace. And then I was like, oh, this must be some character in Ace cosplay. But no, it's just actually Ace. My cat is here. He walked just under the camera. But yeah, he's having his little tour of the desk. Anyways, yeah. So, 1 meter 3 seconds. He just grabs a handful of them and activates them en masse. Okay, very good. Kitty, I'm trying to read manga. Whoa! Oh my gosh, Taiju, insane. He goes even harder. Even just jumping into that pile seems like it could hurt. Those are made out of metal. You guys are ridiculous. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. The Medusas in this big pile are all out of juice. I could have told you that. I don't even know how much time had passed. When Treasure Island died after zapping the whole island. No surprise the ones that covered the entire earth would be dead too. Makes sense, makes sense. What a grand sight it must have been. Xeno, kind of with a little sociopathic vibe here. Such a vast quantity of advanced weaponry, each one shining so brightly. That day a millennia ago, they gave the earth a coating of stone. Can you imagine it? And of course, they were just talking about how trying to imagine that just fills them with nausea, that it's sickening how malicious this act was, on how grand a scale this act of terrorism against all living things commenced. But Zeno, a different perspective, a much more fascist perspective. The aesthetics of fascism rearing their ugly head once more. But it is a very good question of, even though we can question the morals and the motivation of Y-Man all day, how did Y-Man get so many of these? How did he make any of them, let alone millions of them? Oh my gosh, Zito, only Gen could see. Gen knows when he's trying to be distracted. He knows exactly when to look at what no one else is looking at. Good Doctor's interest is piqued. We gotta borrow his knowledge for our research. The chance of winning against Stanley people involves using the Medusa. Okay. So there we have the one team working on it with the watch technician back at the Corn City. And now our two cheat code level intelligence characters are going to take a stab at it here. That's Quantity gives us a new option. We can start smashing them. Just friggin' smash a few. Smashing these apart is a simple matter. Matsukaze tells us it's possible. That's right, that's right. Every science-minded kid loves nothing more than taking stuff apart. Time to get to work. And even Zeno popping in. You can tell he's interested. I like that Tsukasa has some sort of like stone brass knuckles here. The stone world equivalent of brass knuckles. Hello, cat. He's just walking back and forth. It's really funny. I don't know what he's looking for. There's nothing here for him. He just he wants to get up close with the TV, I guess. Okay. Meanwhile, Stanley has come up with... I thought it was going to be that Stanley predicted they were going to take the Amazon and then was going to somehow strike at the Amazon while they were relatively exposed. But now everybody is back on the Perseus, heading somewhere. Senku's band has already evaded our captors. Escaped in the Amazon River, no escaping it, yeah. So we'll have to construct a new ship to go up through the Atlantic. Taking a long way around, they're bound to catch up. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Okay, so now they're just going to take the long way around and try to cut them off as they head into the Atlantic. But what if the Junior Science Brigade goes back to the Pacific? Because it's not like they know what the destination is after this, right? As far as I know. Zeno was able to communicate what their goal was in South America, but what says they're going to the Atlantic after this and making a new boat? Okay. So they are doing it. They are right, but I'm not sure why they were so sure they're right. What's with the bizarre shape? Slanting face with lots of upward-facing angles. That's what I think it is. A submarine? Are they building a sub? There's no way that you can make wood airtight, though. Like, watertight. Oh, a stealth vessel. Okay, I knew there were things like this. More like aircraft, I've heard about this. That somehow the angles and the shapes are not conducive to bouncing the radar waves back. And thus, you can somehow elude all of that sort of wave-based information gathering. But I don't understand in the slightest how that would work. Because, like, obviously hitting the boat, no matter what kind of weird shape you're hitting, is different than hitting the water, right? So, I don't know. Ship is invisible to radio waves. I think science used in modern day warfare. Rusui's excited. Everybody's excited. Radar works by seeing the waves that come bouncing back. Okay, but nothing but slanted angles and faces. Okay, okay. Reusing the rubber again. But the former NASA scientist knows a thing or two about this topic. Hmm. Okay. This is a fun dynamic because, normally in these sorts of science type scenes, everyone's on the same side. Everyone is contributing. Everyone is trying to help. But to have someone who is knowledgeable but antagonistic is kind of new. That's like there with them on this project. I wonder if eventually he'll be converted. I'm not sure how, but I feel like somehow eventually. So they have their stealth ship. Cool, cool. I still don't know if I get it. Because can't they just see the spot at which the radar... Well, I guess because it never comes back. And normally it never comes back. Okay, I kind of get it. It's like, if it comes back, there's something there. If it doesn't come back, it's open ocean. So there is functionally no difference if what it sends out bounces all over the place, because you're not getting that it's going all over the place. You're just getting that it's not coming back. So you assume that it just went straight ahead. And now they're going to think, hey, maybe they just went back to the Pacific. Maybe they didn't go in the Atlantic at all. Look at how happy Chrome is. Chrome is bragging about his aesthetic taste. Okay, so it's time to test. Does it show up on the radar? Ukyo. It's stealth-ish. Kind of hard to detect for its size. Stealth-ish. And this is one where Senku admitted, like, there's secrets to this I don't even know. Because this is relevant modern warfare stuff. He implied that there's things that Xenu knew that he didn't. So what I'm thinking here is that the final gap is going to be covered. Most of the time it's like Senku already knows how to do everything with his cheat code level knowledge. And only sometimes his cheat code level intelligence is required for that next step. But I think here that's going to become very relevant. How do they get it beyond stealth-ish? And I think our boy Chrome, who has been obsessed with these shapes from the beginning, has something in mind. What I'm really curious about is this idea that we're discussing things that are like relevant military secrets, the cutting edge of military technology. What is the mangaka going to say? What is the actual creator of Dr. Stone going to contribute to this field? Or the science consultant, Kurase? What do they know? Is the American government about to send a letter to them and say, "How'd you figure that out?" Don't tell China. Must be hidden for them. Okay, it's hard to detect for its size, so being larger in volume makes it easier to see on the radar. This huge mass of Medusas rained down that day. Why'd nobody notice them until it's too late, even with all that 21st century tech? Ooh. Okay, so Chrome doesn't have an insight right away, but it just made him think of something else. That's really cool. And I just love how many like little insights we're getting into the original petrification event, which is so essential to the series, but still so shrouded in mystery. But like bit by bit, we're like peeling back the layers. Even if it's just more questions like this. Like this is just confusing. But maybe the shape doesn't show up on radar. Maybe humanity from detecting them. Kohaku again, just so occupied with the evil that must be in Y-Man. I hope she gets to kick his ass on the moon. The device are detected by radar. Something inside the mysterious circuitry must be absorbing the radio waves. Okay. It's a little hand wavy. I don't know what the heck sort of circuitry could do that, especially if it's like dormant circuitry. Maybe there's something, I don't know. In that case, why not just stick a bad amount of these things all over our ship? Hell yeah! The super science. Oh man. Going forward, we'll be delving into the realm of futuristic science. A stealth ship that surpasses all known to modern technology. The first time they've gone beyond the 21st century. Pretty cool. And I love that Zeno calls this elegant when it's literally just they took armful of them after over and over again, and slapped it onto the ship. This hyper mysterious, hyper future weapon. We can see here that Zeno does have a Medusa, by the way. And as they assumed, it's not a huge surprise, but it's worth noting. It's worth noting that he is holding on to one there. Okay, let's look forward to the next chapter. Pretty exciting times. The idea of going into the future with technology is a very, very big milestone. Of course, we're very occupied with a lot of the other stuff. My question is, if they have this perfectly ultimate stealth ship now, what is the threat anymore? How could Stanley ever catch up with them? And if so, what is going to be like the antagonistic force going forward? I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay, bye-bye for now.